Okay, great to have you back for part 3 of the 3-part process, and this is video 2. So one of the things that Kathy told me, Kathy is our gal who went from crazy to calm in a matter of moments. One of the things that she told me is that she had no idea how tense she was holding her body. And the truth is, most of us actually don't realize it anymore because we're sort of stuck on this default mode, which is more of an autopilot thing of holding ourselves pretty tight and pretty constricted. So, in my teaching this material in companies and in colleges and all over the place, I had to do a pretty good amount of research, which I loved every minute of it because I learned so much about the roots of the Qigong part of this, as well as the quantum mechanics or the quantum physics part of it. I'll have to tell you about that another time. But anyway, one of the things I stumbled across in my research, and this is from an ancient Chinese text, is this line. And the line is, "The first and most devastating block to health is the constant, insidious, internal tension that we all have." And it just sort of jumped out at me quite strongly. Now another person might read it and go, yeah, whatever. But for me, it was like, oh my gosh, they got this in these ancient Chinese texts. They got this hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. So my point in bringing it forward is that if that's the first block to health, then there's something we can do about it as long as we're aware and we engage in it. And it also told me that this isn't a new issue, this idea of stress. Yeah, we can call the stressors of our world what they are today, but human beings have been trying to find their way to a healthy state through stress probably since the beginning of time. So this first block of health being constant tension is what we're going to look at in this video today. And so the third part, as a reminder, the first part is having our awareness low in our body. The second part is the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth like this. And the third part is a softening of our entire body. And here's why that's important before we talk about how to do that. If you imagine that your entire body, just visualize that you have tons of hoses in your body. And all of these hoses are carrying, we talked about this in the last video, are carrying blood and nutrients and hormones and messages, and some of the hoses might have nerve impulses. I mean, for me to just move my hand like this, there has to be nerve conduction. And everything you're doing, it requires the same thing. And then our lymph has to be flushing through and washing through tissue and keeping our immune system clean. And the qi has to be able to help pump blood and help to conduct nerve impulse. And that circulation has to be in right flow. It's like if you had a garden outside and you came home from vacation and you realized, oh my gosh, it's drying, I need to get some water to it, and you turn on your hose, but there's a kink in it, no water is going to come out the other end. And if you don't fix the kink, then your garden, your plants are going to suffer. They're going to lose their nutrients. They're going to not be able to survive without water and what water carries into its root systems. So it's similar in our body. If all of those hoses are free flowing, then we're good. But if there are kinks in those hoses, then we have constriction. That's part of the reason, or the part of the way that we get constricted. So the third piece to this is a softening of our body so that several things can happen. So that those hoses can unkink and open up and things can start flowing through. But also the idea is that when we have that breath, when we're in our body and cellular intelligence is given the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, keys to the kingdom being heal my body, and we're breathing in such a way that we're activating movement inside of our body, and we're softening, then everything that has to be moved and transformed and carried around or out of our body can happen in a timely, efficient, and functional manner. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for high function in all of our systems. We have all kinds of systems in our body: our immune system, our digestive system, our endocrine system, which is all about the hormones in our body. All of these systems require so much. It's actually staggering if we think about it. And sometimes I think if our bodies were glass and we could see all this activity going on, that we might make very different choices, hopefully for the better. But because we can't see it, we don't really always realize the amount of activity and function that's going on in our body. And so what we're trying to do is to stop choking function off and allow function the freedom it needs for your body to be whole and healthy. So if you're lying down, and you can wait to do this or you can do it now, but if you're lying down, the idea of softening is where you completely relax and just kind of let your body sink into the bed or the floor, wherever you're lying, and everything goes limp. Not limp in a noodly way, but limp in a open way, because what you eventually want to do is be able to soften while you're standing in the grocery line, or if you're having a tough conversation with your teenager, or even an altercation with somebody, or a debate with someone else, or something has got you scared or anxious. You want to be able to access this sense of softening very, very quickly. And in order to do that, you want to practice it so that you have access to it in tougher times. So just in your regular, everything's flowing along nicely time, playing with the syncing, the breath, and the softening. Those are my shortcut names for it. Sync being in the body, breath is obvious, and then softening. So I'm always walking around saying to myself, sink and soften, and then I just sort of know that the breath is in the middle there. So if you play with that on a regular basis when things are flowing, then you'll have an easier access to it when things get a little sticky in your life. So play with softening. What you really want to do is get to know the difference in your body between the feeling of being held tense and constricted and the feeling of being open and soft and relaxed, but still at play in your life. You're still moving through your day, you're still writing your reports and talking on the phone and getting your chores done and all of that, but not from that place of tense and constricted and tight, which is where most of us are holding ourselves pretty much 24/7. Some people don't even get a relaxation at night. And actually doing this process before you go to sleep puts your body in such a good state of relaxation that you'll actually get better sleep. That's what Kathy was referring to when she said her sleep had gotten so much better. And if you wake up a lot, or if you don't actually sleep well, which is a sign that there are some things off in the function of your body, then doing this when you wake up, certainly before you go to sleep, and then if you wake up a time or two throughout the night, can help your body go back into a relaxed state. So the place to put the softening is it's the third part. So you've dropped your awareness into your body so that you're in your body and awareness, intelligence is activated. Then you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And on that exhale, you want to soften your body. So you use the exhale of the breath to completely soften your body. So you can move your state in a matter of 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And if something is really intense, like an anxiety-provoking situation, you can just take a few minutes and move yourself right through it. As a human being, we're not designed to get stuck in our emotions. We're designed to have emotions because that's the whole idea of being in a human life and having a human experience. But we have gotten almost too good at getting stuck in our emotions. So the idea is to allow these emotions and allow energy to move through you instead of getting stuck in you. And next video, I'm going to teach you how I'm going to tie all this stuff together and teach you how all of this stuff affects our health, and teach you what it means to have your good health back on track. So just 3 parts again. You're syncing yourself and having your awareness in your body. You're taking a breath, and on the exhale, you're completely softening your body. And as a counterbalance to the stress response, you remember last video I said that there's a whole cascade of events and a whole unleashing of chemicals that happen in our body when we have a stress response, which, no offense, but most of us are having all day long, every day, even on vacation sometimes. The opposite, when we have this softening and this relaxation and this openness, a completely different set of chemicals is unleashed in our body. And those chemicals are the chemicals that are designed to heal and bring our body into optimal function, whereas the stress response chemicals actually break our body down. So play with softening your body and opening your body as many places in your day that you can think of it, and combine it with the awareness of your body and the breath in your body and the softening all at once. And when we come together next time in another 5 days or so, I'm going to tie all these things together, and I'm going to teach you one more thing about our body, and then we'll take it from there. So Lori Morse, happy and grateful to teach you how to create your health naturally.